Here we have this weird situation. A PC racing game is being advertised for having steering wheel support, a manual transmission mode, and even unlocked frame rate. It's strange, but it's actually something to be bragging about. The previous installment of Need for Speed had none of these things. The new one, however, got a postponed PC release and was promising a lot. The only question is, did it deliver? Let's start with performance. I was playing mostly on a PC that is a bit above the recommended requirements. Same graphics card, faster CPU, so it should be enough for Full HD and 60 frames per second. With VSync off and, well, unlocked frame rate, I got the game running smoothly at about 70 FPS. And that's with everything set on maximum. There was no need to test the game on a faster computer, so I chose the weaker one, which is somewhere in between the minimum and recommended requirements. I did have to lower some of the settings, but still remained in the high territory. The game was running smoothly in 1080p, so optimization-wise, everything seems to be fine. So we are done with the first promise. There was something about 4K resolution though, and in this game there may be some concerns. I will show you why. Do you see those glass pieces that are hitting my car? That's rain. This is how Need for Speed looks with anti-aliasing turned off. And that's how it looks with FXAA. A bit better, but still strange. Painful even. The only way to get rid of artifacts is to turn on the second anti-aliasing setting, TAA. It's very effective. So effective, in fact, it not only gets rid of jaggies, but it also gets rid of most of the detail. With this option, it sort of looks like a short-sighted driver forgot his glasses, so basically you have to choose the lesser evil. Either you prefer the extreme sharpness or the extreme blurriness. It's a shame that Need for Speed doesn't support any kind of traditional anti-aliasing, but to be fair, you are mostly looking at a blurred image while speeding through the city, so well, it kind of fits. When it comes to the overall look of Need for Speed, it's a similar thing. It's hard to judge the game based on details or texture fidelity besides the cars themselves. Here it's mostly about the landscape, movement and lighting. It looks nice, but there are some problems with readability. Sometimes it's just hard to see, a lot of places are dark and some of the obstacles are really surprising, so it's not uncommon to see yourself smashing into something. The bright side is that you don't really see a lot of difference when lowering the graphics settings, if you don't stop at traffic lights, of course. I got to be honest though, the previous installment, which was Need for Speed Rivals, actually seems to be a bit more spectacular when it comes to graphics. What's worth mentioning is that the game includes all of the updates that were introduced in the console versions. Of course, it's nothing remarkable, but the truth is, you do get a game that is richer in content. What's sad though is that it's not richer in mouse support. It may not seem important, but once you start to pimp your first car, this will get in your way. Just imagine that you have to use Photoshop, but you only have your keyboard or a gamepad. Every step is associated with thinking about which button to press, and it really gets annoying after a while. Well, with that being said, playing Need for Speed on PC can be a satisfying experience. I like the way of splitting up different aspects of racing into categories. First of all, you can do whatever you like at the time. Secondly, the color coding of categories, the way it's assembled in the interface, and how your multiplayer gets up while doing, well, anything really, it all makes for a lot of fun. What I did not like, however, is the police. I mean, I kind of feel sorry for the officers in this game because I actually had to stop every once in a while so they can keep up with me. I just miss the thrill of the chase over the entire map that Most Wanted had. I understand that developers tried to make police chases less annoying when you just want to race around, and a good idea here is that you can just pay a fine after speeding past a cop car. I just think that if you actually want to play with the police, it should escalate into something exciting, and instead it just feels like a joke. The game is always online. It all comes down to how the servers are going to work after the release, because myself I did not experience any problems. I also wonder if the world is going to fill up with other players, because right now it's kind of bleak. there's not a lot of civilian cars and not much is going on. What's also disappointing is that there seems to be a problem with difficulty. Most of the races were completed at first try by a huge margin. This so-called rubber banding of the AI is fixed right now, and that's great, but it's a shame that there's not much of a challenge. Maybe later, maybe at the end of the game, but even if that's true, I just wish it would be sooner. Anyway, it was worth waiting for the PC port, which not only works, but it also has new content. If you like these sorts of arcade racing games, Need for Speed is at least a solid title, even if a bit monotonous. But hey, at least it has manual transmission mode.